The future of DLT is bigger than people could ever imagine. That's not just something I say. Now that we're looking into this CSD aspect, we get things like this. Now, it says this. I'm going to tell you the sources this is coming from to show you how serious this is. But notice how we don't really hear a lot about this. We're just now getting onto this topic because of what Amfif was talking about. And I can't wait to see what they're about to unleash in this next video that they're going to be coming out with. But it says this: distributed ledger technology has the potential to significantly impact and potentially transform the role of central securities depositories, CSDs. In the future, here's an analysis of how DLT might affect CSDs along with expert perspectives. Now, these sources that this is pulling this information from are IMF, Swift PDF, JFIN, multitude of reputable sources. This is where this information is coming from. But let's scroll down here. I want to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. And you know, what's interesting is one similarity amongst all of these institutions is they want automation. Remember I said that? But see, what I was drawing inspiration from was really online businesses and, you know, the fact that it seems like people are loving full-time automation and full electronic or internet business automation where everything pretty much is running itself. You're just doing the minimum. And I said to myself years ago, well, if the people like that, right, the small business owners, medium-sized business owners like that, why wouldn't the large businesses also go heavily into that? But see, they're approaching it from a much different angle where the money is much bigger, obviously here. That make any sense? So that's where I was coming from. But now I'm starting to see the IMF like there. I can't remember which I have so many tabs open. But the IMF literally was saying, I'm going to see if I can pull it up, that they want everything to be continuous. That's one of the things they're looking at when it comes to DLTs and the potential for DLTs to replace a lot of these different infrastructures, including CSDs. So now, based off the information that all of these sources are providing, when it comes to the numbers, this is what it says. Assuming DLT could capture a significant portion of the existing CSD value, and once again, Amfif and all of their large financial institutions that they surveyed, they said they believe it will be significant, right? Did you watch the video? I mean, we analyzed it a couple of times, and you can go watch it on their Amfif channel. So let's assume it is going to be significant. So this number that I'm about to drop on you should be very significant. It says we can make a conservative estimate that it might capture about 90% of the current CSD volume. That's a conservative estimate? 90%? Wait. We're getting to the good part. This would amount to approximately $178 trillion. You see how we made those connections? Amfif said it was going to be significant. They were talking heavily about CSDs. We did the research. Now we're looking into some of these numbers. We see that other institutions believe that that DLT could be dominant when it comes to CSDs. All right, so now we have a sort of a consensus among them, right? That it will be dominant. So the conservative estimate is 90%, $178 trillion. What does it do to that price? You tell me. $178 trillion. Even if you take a piece of it. Now, we're talking about the entirety of the new financial system, but throw a few trillion here and a few trillion there. A few trillion hit any of these bank coin companies, any of these, chains, for lack of a better word. That is going to be significant. And once again, the IMF wants continuous volume. Everybody wants automation. The BIS wants full automation. They want to minimize everything and make their lives easier. That value is going to flow easily. This is another reason why I'm saying with RWA, it's going to flow easily. This is why all the private sector companies are doing what? Streamlining everything right now, making it very easy for these big companies to deploy. That's another reason why I believe you're seeing them fall in love with Solana. Also, they're in love with all of these bank coins, really. But you're seeing an increase in that now. They're coming out and saying it, as opposed to us having to hunt that information down like we usually do. $178 trillion is on the table, folks. You think we can't take a significant portion of that? They're saying that's conservative. They're saying that DLT could take 90% of it. The Fed believes the private sector should lead. The BIS believes the private sector should lead. See how all this fits together? All of it fits together. I mean, listen, make up your own mind, not financial advice. This is what I am discovering. This is the path that I am on right now. It says here, additional tokenized assets. Citi predicts that by 2030, there could be $4 trillion. Look at all these trillions. I'm not putting all these trillions together. This is them. They're telling you this. What are we going to go by, folks? These are facts. So we have all these trillions. When I say that, it's because they're telling us this. That's significant. Citi predicts that by 2030, there could be $4 trillion worth of tokenized assets in private markets. This represents new value that could potentially flow through DLT systems. They're giving us extra information. It says combining the potential DLT capture of existing CSD volume and the predicted new tokenized assets, we can estimate a total potential value flowing through DLT systems. So $178.83 trillion is their estimate. That was the conservative estimate, right? From CSD capture alone, plus $4 trillion of new tokenized assets, which that number actually looks a little bit lower than other numbers I've seen, but we'll go with that for now just to get there, see this outcome. And the outcome is it equals to $182 trillion on the table. They're telling you we're going to be dominant. Do you personally believe we can't take this? Obviously, this is happening in the future. We're seeing the build up to it. We're watching the build up to it, right? It says expert predictions. So this is coming from Northern Trust. They're giving us a lot of information here. Look, this is getting serious. The rabbit hole is getting deeper. They're telling, all these companies are telling you, but here's the thing. I told you, see, this is why, look, they bury information. This is why research is so important. Northern Trust expects that by 2030, that's not that far away, 2030, the size of digital asset market could grow to between 5% and 10% of the $13 trillion of assets that it holds. Wait, they have more? What else do they have here? The repo, securities financing, collateral market could see an additional $1 trillion in tokenization by 2030. This is why BlackRock wants to dominate in DLT. This is why Valkyrie's getting in position. This is why Wisdom Tree, ARK Invest, on and on and on. All the big money is standing their ground. Not only standing their ground, they're gaining ground. Serious business. While retail, they have retail all in shambles. They have retail all confused, abandoning ship. When they're sitting on a gold mine, retail sitting on a gold mine, they don't even know it. They're looking at the tree in front of them. They're now seeing the forest. Gold mine. The biggest explosion of all time when it comes to value and capital. It's not a joke. See, the big money, they understand that. They understand that. They're playing the long game. This is chess, not checkers. You got to be Magnus, right? Got to be a chess master when it comes to this. Regulatory challenges and the need for global rules to spur blockchain trading of assets are significant factors that could affect the adoption rate and the total value flowing through DLT systems. Yeah, but they're not adding one little variable to that, and it's that these systems are controlled. That's why you see them getting unleashed now. They are controlled by the big companies that are taking over. When the big companies tell them to unleash it, they will. You see them starting to turn the faucet on a little bit. Yeah, we're starting to see driplets of the media starting to speak positively, just a little bit, more positively, just a little bit about crypto. They're conditioning the minds of the people. You start to see the companies come out a little bit more. They're so happy, so giddy now. Oh, we love Bitcoin. Oh, we love Solana. Really? You didn't say that before. Why you say it now? Because they're in position now. They want all that money to themselves. They want all that power and value to themselves, and they don't want you having it. Make no mistake about it. Wait a minute here. It says if DLT has a significant impact on CSDs, which Omfif believes it will, and all the large financial institutions that Omfif surveyed believes it will. Keep that in mind. It says the potential value flowing through these systems could be substantial. That's coming from them, not me, but I agree. That rhymes. I don't know. That just flowed. But I agree 100%. Once again, the sources that this is pulling from, IMF documents, Swift documents, all these reputable companies. This is where this is coming from. And we already heard from Amphif once again, right? If you didn't watch that video, please watch that video. You can go right to their channel. You can watch my analysis of it. I did one yesterday, a little bit more of it than I did one a few days ago. But you can go right to Amphif's channel and watch that video. And I will be dropping another members only video. It's going to be significant. There's a lot of interesting things happening right now. So you have this going on. Then let's go here. Wait a minute. Let's go here. You see how they cover things up. You see how they don't want you to know when something significant is happening. Now, I've been telling people about gold for years now. When people were telling me gold was nothing, gold's not going to go up. And then now look where gold is now, right? I just want to show you this because first of all, I love gold. And second of all, I'm going to show you how they do things in secret. This article is titled, Saudi Arabia is secretly buying gold. Why? Why? The only time people or institutions or entities buy gold is when they want to protect their value. Let me ask you a question. What are all these countries protecting themselves from? What's happening that everybody's running scared to gold, by the way? You mean to tell me there's nothing happening? No, listen, there is a systemic breakdown going on. It's a controlled demolition of the world systems so that they can control the fall because every empire falls. I don't even want to say empire. Everything falls that rises. And it looks like the systems of the world have risen to a certain point. Their technologies, the minds that were of the old ages that built everything that was the foundation of what the world knows as reality today has reached its peak. That's what it looks like. And so instead of letting it naturally collapse, which would mean that the powers don't have control over it, they'd rather bring it down themselves. So they have some control over it. They have some control over the outcome. You understand that? So it looks like they're allowing it, they're allowing certain things to happen in a controlled demolition of these systems. Now, Mick, what's an example of that? What do you mean by that? Look at all the debt problems around the world. It's not just United States with debt problems. Look at the European debt problems. You think that they don't have individuals that are highly intelligent that could solve those problems easily? Yes, they do, but they're letting it. They're exacerbating the problem. You don't see that? Look at the debt problem in the U.S., just since it's closer to home for a lot of people. They're doing that on purpose. They removed the debt limit. They're spinning up all types of it's going to have a detrimental effect. There's something else that's very sinister. I'm telling you right now that's going on. And people, listen, I know you're wise. I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of other people in the world, they better be careful, right? They better be careful. But Saudi Arabia, it says here, is secretly buying gold. Saudi Arabia, once a pillar of the petrodollar system, may be secretly amassing gold reserves as central banks worldwide, like they're telling, worldwide quietly buy up the precious metal. And it's so funny. So many regular people, they really don't like, just my humble experience, they really don't like when you discuss gold with them. They just don't understand it. Their first reaction is, can I go spend it at a store? It depends. Do you have a gold card? Are you going to get a gold card? It depends. But they're very hostile to that idea. Meanwhile, they don't understand protecting one's value. But meanwhile, the central banks and all these powerful people around the world stacking gold. Yeah, they love gold more than Alphanine. They love gold more than I do. There's a reason for it. They're protecting themselves against what is to come. Simple as that. Not only that, when certain things begin to collapse, gold and silver, let me put silver on the table. Gold and silver are not financial advice. Let me say it before I say this. They're going to explode. My humble opinion. There's no way around it, folks. People and companies, anybody who wasn't in on gold before certain things collapse, because there's a multitude of things looking like they're going to go down the next year or two. My goodness, they will come running to gold, especially now with the whole, if they're going to do consecutive interest rate cuts. If they're going to do consecutive interest rate cuts, we're going to have to see how that affects the yield of other things, which could theoretically make them less desirable. I think mostly to retail. I think mostly retail. I think big money doesn't really care too much about the yield. They just know that certain things are protective and they're going to stay well diversified. Whereas if the yield drops on certain things, Retail will sell. They will leave certain things, right? And I think they will come running to gold. You catch my drift? Right. There's a lot of things going on right now. I'm telling you. So now it says whispers of gold, Saudi Arabia's hidden purchases. Analyst Jan Nieuwenhuis from Money Metals exposes a startling truth. Saudi Arabia might be secretly accumulating gold. He estimates a staggering 160 tons purchased since 2022 in Switzerland, a move contributing to the current gold rush. I'm going to leave that one right there. All right, so now let's move on here. We have a little bit of Bitcoin news. We got to get to this Bitcoin news. Bitcoin is bubbling. They cannot break it down. They want to bring that price down. They want to so badly, trying to spread their negativities on Bitcoin. They're trying to sell it in mass to bring it down. They just can't stop its bullishness. You know, there's always equal opposites, right? You have one side that wants to bring that price down, but right now they're losing. The side that wants that price to explode are much more powerful. The big companies are in position. They're not playing any games, right? And so now that price has been up. A lot of the bullish news has been dominating because of independent reporters as well. So people are starting to come into that that mind state of, wait a minute, Bitcoin looks super bullish. All the big companies backing it. Things are looking good. You have other technologies being built. Layer 2s, what they call them, smart contracts they're trying to build for different offerings for Bitcoin. I think Coinbase just came out with one. You have a lot of different offerings like that. So Bitcoin continues to make an impact with people. And that's, I think, was a part of what's going to add to it launching in the future. Sorry, I'm not so eloquent today. My apologies. It's been a hard week, folks. Just know that. I've been doing my best, but it's been a hard week or two for old Alphany. But this article is titled, Bitcoin Poised for Potential Rally as FTX Payout Looms and Fed Shifts. The latest 10X research report examines macroeconomic factors and seasonal patterns, hinting at a Bitcoin rally while cautioning investors on potential risks. Bitcoin could be on the verge of a significant rally. So it's another institution saying this. A significant rally by the end of 2024. We've heard that before. A lot of experts are saying that. We shall see. I'll take it. I want it. I want that explosion right now, more than most people. I'm going to tell you right now. It says, according to insights from the latest 10X research report, the report highlights that the volatile year so far, but discusses a paradigm shift in light of the combination of forces driving the cryptocurrency market and seasonal patterns. Speaking with Cointelegraph Markets Thiening, the founder of 10X Research explained that there is a, quote, key focus, unquote, on the FTX payout as the proposed $5 to $8 billion inflow, unquote, could spark bullish sentiment. Quote, there's possibility of a melt up in risk assets as the Fed seems to have raised the level of the S&P 500 at which they would intervene to protect investors, signaling the potential for further rate cuts, often referred to as the Fed put, quote unquote. As a result, many investors are likely to reposition their portfolios in anticipation of 2025. 2025 looks like it could be an insane year. I hope it is. I really, really hope it is. Of course, there's no guarantees. But wait, let's move on here. We got a little bit more news here for you good folks out there. Now, Cardano, I told you, man, I don't care what anyone says. Cardano is bullish. I have zero Cardano. At any time, I might jump in. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just watching right now, but it's getting more and more bullish. Just my humble opinion, not financial advice. Cardano founder responds as developer introduces Bitcoin to Cardano bridge. They're always doing something. They're always working on something major. Cardano's Charles Hoskinson reacts with surprise as a Bitcoin developer unveils a seamless bridge between Bitcoin and Cardano apps. A Bitcoin developer known as El Ralito has announced a breakthrough in blockchain interoperability, revealing a seamless bridge between Bitcoin and Cardano operations or applications operation. My apologies. The developer showcased a smart contract on Plutus V3, allowing Bitcoin wallets to interact directly with Cardano's ecosystem. This enables users to send ADA, manage tokens, and stake in Cardano pools without requiring a new wallet. These are the type. This is what I'm talking about. A rising tide raises all ships. Crypto is coming together. Look at it, little by little, all of these interoperability bridges and connections, connector pieces, bringing everything together. All the powers are congealing. You even have some of the companies working together when it comes to regulations. They're on like regulatory groups, regulatory teams. You saw what happened with the MiCA team at Ripple and Hedera. I told you a long time ago, I felt like they were going to form Voltron. You know, Voltron is this machine, had a bunch of different animal pieces and people controlling those animal robots. And they would form this bigger robot that was very, very powerful. I feel like that's what they're doing. They're conglomerating. They're congealing. Finally, we're witnessing it. What we thought thought would happen is now happening. We're seeing it come to fruition. And this is very, very good, just my humble opinion. Notably, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson reacted with surprise as the innovation could mark a new phase in cross-chain connectivity. And that's where the big money is. That's what the big businesses want. That's what the banks want, commercial and central. Now, let's move on here. Wait a minute. What do we have here? I think we have a little bit more gold news, but I want to cover this a little bit here. We have silver news, which is very rare. So I want to get this in there. All right. So silver is my word. I mean, I believe the price is heavily manipulated, heavily suppressed. A lot of things are heavily manipulated, but this is what it says here. It says silver's 44-year cup and handle, the largest bullish formation ever seen. See, a lot of people underestimate silver. They don't like silver. I don't know why. Folks. I'm just telling you. I'm just sharing my experiences. I love silver. I love gold, and I love platinum. That's where it stops. One day I do plan to get into a little bit of palladium. I've always had my eye on palladium. I've never gotten deep with palladium, but palladium is on my list though. It says here, silver's historic cup and handle pattern, one of the largest ever seen, signals a potential price surge. Renowned experts predict a massive breakout. The question is when. For me, it doesn't really matter. As a long holder of silver, I just know in the future at some point, boom. That's how I feel. Not financial advice. Once again, silver, long overshadowed by its golden cousin. Hey, that's another thing, man. People have their eye too much on gold alone. They just don't pay attention to silver. Is poised for a historic surge. A groundbreaking technical analysis reveals a massive cup and handle formation spanning over 44 years, signaling a potential moonshot for silver prices. This isn't just any cup and handle. It's the granddaddy of them all, dwarfing any other pattern in recent history. Renowned financial experts, including Mike Maloney, are predicting a meteoric rise, with silver potentially reaching mid to high triple digits. What? Oh, once again, just because someone says it doesn't mean it's 100% going to happen, right? But I can feel excited to say I'm having that realization, and I can still feel excited simultaneously. Join us as we delve into the intricate details of the historic formation, explore the underlying economic. Oh, they go into all that. Why do they do that sometimes? Like they build up what they're about to say. Just say it. I just want the information. You don't need to build it up to me. I mean, if you were excited, that's one thing. But you don't need to build it up, like hype it up. Like sometimes I'm excited. I'm not trying to hype anything at all, but I just might be excited. And I don't want to come across as not genuine. So I'll just unleash my excitement sometimes. But don't hype anything. That's how I feel. A cup and handle pattern is a technical chart formation. Oh, we know what that is. Come on now. All right. So silver's bullish. Right. That's what they're trying to say here. This is what they're trying to convey here. So wait a minute. What is this? Whoa, let me read this little piece. Expert predictions. Renowned financial experts like Mike Maloney believe this formation signifies a, quote, baked in the cake, unquote, trajectory towards mid to high triple digits. What? For silver potentially reaching a staggering $921 per ounce. Ooh, my goodness. I'll take that. How many of you out there would take that? I'd take that for sure. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with this. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.